Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday, December 20th, 2023, and welcome to a brand new edition of what I like to call For the Birds. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Kurt Cadet, aka Conscious Kurt, in the flesh as always. And here on For the Birds, I'd like to talk about different forms of negative and toxic behavior, the effects that behavior has on us and our mental health, and what we can do to have more power over it, more control over it, in order to have a better quality of our lives going forward. Now, today is a very special episode as I have a very special guest today. We actually did an episode together several months ago over the summer called Why Are You So Offended?, which you could actually find in the archives. And my special guest today is my best friend of 22 years and also my co host of the podcast, Spark It Up. He is the one, the only, the legendary, one half of the famous The Twins, and also a battle rapper extraordinaire. He is El Rachmani. What is the deal, my dude?
God damn, trying to make me blush on here. I'm pretty good. What's up? Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here on For the Birds, bro. And actually, believe it or not, this is technically your first appearance on the show because the last time you were on the show, it was under a different name.
Right.
I see you're sipping on something right now, Sid.
Yeah, just some tea.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea this time of the year because it's about to get cold as a motherfucker, which is happening
Oh,
already
yeah.
now here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly outside today.
Yeah, it's even kind of chilly outside here in Atlanta because I went for a walk a little while ago before we started recording, and yeah, it wasn't that comfortable. It was to the point where after a few minutes, I just said, "Yeah, this isn't happening today."
Yeah, let's just say it's not walking weather at the moment. Like, it's not like, hey, let's take a walk. You know what I mean? It's not let's take a walk weather at the moment.
No, it is not. But it is the holiday season. Christmas is just 5 days away, and it's fucking getting crazy at the malls, which I saw earlier today as I was leaving work. And yeah, this time of the year, bro, it just definitely brings out a different side of people, both positive and also in some ways negative. And as somebody who's grown up with the Christmas holidays and all that my entire life, you definitely see it a lot differently when you're an adult, when you're my age. But I know you didn't really grow up in the States. I know you didn't really grow up a lot with American pop culture. But I just wanted to ask, what was your first experience with being exposed to, Christmas and the whole Christmas like commercialism of it, like when you first came to the States?
I don't. I guess like I was already kind of exposed to it from movies, and probably, as you know, my recollection of my childhood is not super sharp. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all pretty fuzzy. I don't know. My friend says that it's it's like a traumatic response where you just like block everything out to cope with trauma. I don't know about all that shit, but
That's
maybe.
actually true.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, like moving around like that and all that, like I don't fucking remember I don't remember shit from when I was a kid, bro. I'm just assuming that, well, we didn't really grow up, in one spot, so we were going back and forth a lot, so it's hard to remember chronologically what happened when, like, ever since I was 2 years old, I was moving back and forth between, New York, Florida, Israel, etc., California, Vegas, whatever. But yeah, I'm assuming I probably saw it on the movies and all that. You know what I mean? We didn't obviously celebrate it in my house, so.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Like, you didn't celebrate Christmas growing up, obviously being Jewish, celebrating Hanukkah. But was there anything like about Christmas that you maybe thought was cool, where you like just said to yourself, "Damn, I kind of wish we would do that every year, as opposed to what we do every year."
Um, yeah, I don't know if I ever was like, oh, I wish we had Christmas. You know what I mean? You see a lot of Christmas movies, and it's like a big thing, especially for a lot of kids. But I don't know. I feel like even as a kid, I was never like I said, I don't really remember my childhood like that. But I don't know. I don't know if we like. I think my favorite part about the holidays was like food and family. Like seeing, because we moved away at a young age, we didn't really grow up around all our cousins and aunts and uncles. So, if we could get a few of them together on the holiday, they would be invited or something. That would be really nice. And just like, for us, everything was kind of revolved around food. So, you know, I don't know if you have like specific Christmas dishes, but for us in the holidays, my mom would go all out, and there's always really good food and stuff like that. So I mean, to me, the holidays was just like bomb ass food and getting to see my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly kind of what my family was like too growing up. I lived in my grandmother's house for most of my childhood, so like every year for Christmas, everybody would come over to my grandma's house for Christmas Eve, and like right at midnight, we would all open our presents. Like all the kids, we would open our presents, and bro, like I would like sit in front of that tree from like 11 o'clock at night when it was like the hour countdown. I would not leave that tree sight until midnight when it was time to open the gifts. Yeah, it was real, bro,
Oh
because
yeah.
yeah, because I grew up in my grandma's house, and like as the weeks led up to Christmas, you like saw more presents like going under the tree and going under the tree with your name on it. So you start like thinking to yourself, "Oh, I wonder what this is. Oh, I wonder what that is." So yeah, that anticipation just builds up and builds up until like finally when you get to that day, you're like, "Bro, it is on. It is on like a motherfucker." And then once midnight would strike and you were able to open those gifts, you would like dive in head first, and bro, it was magic. Like, and you would get like all the exact things that you wanted, all the exact things that you asked for on your Christmas list. Like when you would get all those things and kind of just walk out of it with a lot more than you walked in with it. There was just nothing better when you were a kid, like to have that experience and be able to get all those things and be a part of all of that. And yeah, just the whole vibe of it, I always like, not even just with the whole present aspect of it, just like the lights, the colors, like setting up the Christmas tree, and also like yeah, the music and also the different food and yeah, and especially now, something I enjoy now that I'm older, especially the holiday movies. The holiday movies, for whatever reason, yeah, just put you in that kind of spirit and put you in that kind of mood. And there's nothing wrong with that shit whatsoever. So yeah, those are come. And then on Christmas Day, we would have like a big Christmas dinner at my grandma's house. The whole family would come over. We like play with all the toys we got for Christmas the day before. And yeah, it was just a good time. And like obviously, I don't eat that shit anymore. But like the main dish I would look forward to on Christmas was my grandmother's ham. It's safe to say I've moved on and upgraded to a lot more better qualities of food since then. To say the very
Christmas
least.
Satan. But yeah, you guys would actually watch the presents accumulate there for like a whole week, like and just like wait.
For weeks, bro. Yeah, because my grandmother's house is the main place everyone would come to for Christmas, and I lived there for what over a decade. So yeah, as the weeks went on, you saw like more presents go under the tree, and like you see a bunch of them with your name on it. So yeah, you'd be like, "Fuck, I wonder if this is this. I wonder if this is that." Yeah, bro, it was
Oh
wild.
shit,
Yeah, it
that's
was.
such a tease, yo. They tease the shit out of you.
I didn't look forward to my birthday when I was a kid. My birthday was always fun, but there was just something different about Christmas.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it's clearly, like just what you just said, like taking kids and having them like, oh, here's a present, you can't touch it, and here's another one. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, kids are gonna be hype as fuck for that shit. It's like WrestleMania of, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
Exactly.
the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's hyped up like crazy for kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and another thing I liked about Christmas time also, my mom and sometimes my uncle would take us to this theme park called Santa's Enchanted Forest that was in Miami. Like every Christmas, they would always take us there. It was mad fun.
Yeah, I've never been. I've heard of it. I've never been.
Yeah, it was such a good time going to that spot. Like when you first get into the park for like the first 10 minutes of walking through, it's like all Christmas decorations, all lights, all this other crazy shit. And then like after 10 minutes of walking through that, that's the actual park where like all the rides are.
Yeah, no, that should be pretty dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like rides and like all the decor and shit. You know what I mean? Like when you go to those like, theme park type stuff, it's like, it kind of transports you into a different, kind of like into a different world. It's like even they do that shit for adults too, bro. When I went to Tomorrowland, like if the production value, it's like, oh shit, where the fucking, you know what I mean? Like it puts you in a different place. It's nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Also, Disney World, you could throw into that category also.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like a theme park. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll never forget one year, actually 30 years ago this year, my uncle actually took us all to Santa's Enchanted Forest on Christmas Eve of all days. Like on actual Christmas Eve. And yeah, like by the time we got home, it was midnight and it was time to open the presents. Fucking A, son. Fucking A,
One for the
son.
books, huh?
Yes, sir.
But I think with the whole family aspect, I think when you're a kid, it's all magical because you're like, oh, all the family's here and all that shit, and you know what I mean. But then, like, as an adult, like, you know that, like, oh, he's mad at her and she's mad at him, and he fucked her over, and she cheated on her husband, and he's not talking to her, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
he
I
borrowed
know.
money from this guy, didn't pay him back. Like, there's all this other shit that, like, you know, I don't know about your family, maybe not, but in my family, it was very much kept away from the kids. All that shit was like hush hush. You know what I mean? Like, oh, not in front of the kids. Don't let the kids know. You know what I mean? Like, so you would have no idea. You would just assume that everyone's peachy and everyone's like perfect and everyone's an angel. You have no idea that like all this drama is happening behind the scenes. Like as a kid, you know, for at least in our house, you know what I mean? In our family, I don't know how it is in other families. I'm sure there's families where like, you know, they talk shit about each other in front of the kids. You know.
Well, the thing was, when I was a kid, for the most part, yeah, it was always usually peaceful. I mean, like when I started to notice my parents weren't like really getting along as well, because my father would come for Christmas, and I would think like everything's fine between my parents up until like one year where like my mom didn't want my dad to come to the house at all, and yeah, that was like the first year I started to notice some like tension within the family, and then actually when I would say Christmas when I turned 13, that's when I like noticed like the family tension and the family drama where a few months prior my mom had a bad falling out with like a few of my uncles being her brothers, and she ended up like leaving my grandma's house where we lived. So like that Christmas Eve it was very different because my mom wasn't there because she got kicked out of the house, and my father had gone out that night, which was actually kind of fucked up now that I look back at it, but it is what it is. So yeah, like that was the first year where like yeah, both of my parents weren't there for Christmas Eve, and I was also getting older to the point where like the whole present aspect wasn't as exciting anymore. So that was like the first Christmas where I started to notice the family drama, and also where it was like starting to not be as fun.
Right.
It was a weird one. I'm not gonna lie. That year was a very weird one. 99 Christmas. Yeah, it was like yeah, the very first time like for Christmas Eve, like neither my mother or my father were there, and yeah, I didn't like it. Did not like it at all.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like that when you're like young and innocent and all that shit is kind of hid from you, everything seems like so magical and shit. But then, like, from an adult's point of view, like from your parents' point of view, Christmas is like stressful and expensive, and there's people they gotta see and they gotta deal with, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily this magical shit. It's almost like a show that you put on for the kids. Like, look how magical, you know what I mean? But that might not be the vibe in reality for the adults behind the scenes. Not always, it's just sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It was weird during those years because like the year after, like my mother was still having the drama with my with like her brothers, and it's funny that next year after, like a week before Christmas, my grandfather on my mother's side actually died. And today, actually, believe it or not, is the anniversary of that funeral. Yeah, 23 years ago today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was also a weird dynamic. And my mother still wasn't like cool with going to my grandma's house for Christmas. So like I went with my mother to like a friend's house in Miami that Christmas Eve. And yeah, that was the first Christmas Eve I spent like not at my grandma's house, which was different. Yeah, it was different. It was cool to be with my mom, but yeah, it was just different not being at my grandma's house. Like a part of it didn't feel right. Because like every Christmas it was like
Right.
it would be the same people and yeah, the same energy. But yeah, that year it was like, what the fuck? But Christmas Day was nice because I did go to my grandma's house and my dad was there, and yeah, it was a cool time and all. Although my mom was not there, but yeah, that family drama, like those years, like when I first started to notice it, and it started to make me uncomfortable and like not enjoy the holidays as much. But whatever, we still got together for the holidays every year. You know, you still made the most out of it, even though you were older. You still try to make it fun in its own way. But yeah, it wasn't the same. And then it really got bad. I'll say it really got bad like when I moved to New York. Like that first year I moved to New York, that's like when it really started to take a turn.
Oh, and you lived with us, really?
Because I remember that first year when I lived with you guys, that's like when I wasn't like, at the most stable place financially. I had just got a job. And it was also my first Christmas, like away from the whole like half the family, like the family I grew up with. So yeah, that was also like an adjustment. And also having to work on Christmas Day for the first time. Yeah, I wasn't used to that shit either. So yeah, it was like all of that and being away from the family. Yeah, that was the first Christmas where I just said to myself, like, I'm really not a kid anymore. Like I'm really like an adult, and it's just
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Christmas for adults isn't necessarily the same as it is for kids. That's what
yeah,
I'm
that was
saying.
like my first Christmas where I had that reality check where I was like, yeah, it's not the same anymore. Like you're an adult
Right.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I like not that like in a hater kind of way, but like holidays are kind of meaningless to me now.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. Yeah, I
Uh,
wanted to get into that also. What is it about holidays to you that make it feel meaningless, and what is it about holidays that, in a sense, turn you off?
well, like I said, I think the main thing for me was like the family getting together, and ever since that kind of stopped happening, you know what I mean? Like it just wasn't anything special about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't see a bunch of family members every holiday. Like we're not all in my grandma's house every year. You know what I mean? And even within the family, everyone's got beef with everyone, and everyone's talking shit about everyone, and they're not cool, and they passed away. And it's just like everything's different. And then like you see people as an adult, and like as a kid, you just assume adults are like always right and righteous and good and like what I'm saying, like I got fucking like shit, I don't even talk to my dad. You know what I mean? Like let alone like some of
Yes,
my
I
uncles. You know what I
understand.
mean? It's like you know what I mean? Like to me it's just a fucking day, like whatever. It's There's nothing special about that day in my life. I'm not saying for other people. For some people it's the most special day, like when you were describing your best Christmas as a kid. Like it sounded great, it sounded magical, it sounded beautiful, it sounded lovely. That's not like Hanukkah just passed by. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? We just all I did for Hanukkah was battle you. You know what I mean? Like 8 days of this is like that's it. Like I didn't do anything. I didn't even notice it. I was like, oh, cool, Hanukkah. All right, yeah, okay. I may have wished like one person happy holiday or something like that. It just doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? If my whole family was close by and they were all getting together and then it would be cool because of that. You know what I mean? Bro, in my family for a while now, for a couple of years now, like the closest thing we've had to holidays is like, you know, I don't know what the name for it is in English. I guess like there's a name for it in Hebrew. It's like when someone passed away, and then like on the date of when they passed away, like everyone gets together. Like let's say the five
A
years later.
memorial service? Memorial
Yeah,
service?
yeah. Like memorials are pretty much our have been our family holidays for the last like decade, if not more. Like that's when I see the families just you know let's say on the anniversary when my aunt passed away or my grandma passed away or my grandpa passed away, then we'll all get together at the cemetery, and then we'll all go to my grandma's house and have some food and hang out and catch up. And honestly, it's become like a happy event for me because like I get to see everybody. I'm like, it's the only time I get to fucking see them. You know what I mean? I'm not celebrating the fact that like let's say my grandma died or whoever it is that we're there for, but I'm like, oh shit, all my family's here. Like I haven't seen them in forever. This is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. With me, with that first year, like not spending Christmas with my family and being away from them, yeah, it was weird. It was like definitely an adjustment. As the Christmases went on, like the whole economy stuff happened, and like yeah, people had falling outs and stuff. And then by the time I moved back to Florida a few years later, when I was closer to my family, like no one got together for the holidays anymore, and like no one barely even talked to each other anymore. So that was a big reason why like I started to fall out of Christmas during that period because the whole family aspect of it was gone. Like that was all that I had left when I got older and wasn't a kid anymore. And that's like what I kind of still liked about Christmas. But then when that got taken away, it's like, yo, this Christmas shit really is just another day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And for a while, the main thing I would just look forward to the most on Christmas was the NBA games,
Oh shit.
which I still enjoy now. But like I remember, like for a brief period, that's like all I cared about on Christmas Day. All I cared about on Christmas was like watching Kobe against LeBron or whatever game they had on that day. Yeah, that's all that was on my mind for a while. Yeah, but those years of like my family not getting together for the holidays, and yeah, like also around that time we got our house taken away too. That was another issue. So yeah, like those years of the holidays, like where I like didn't care anymore and like just said, "Oh, this is just another day. Who gives a fuck?" Yeah, like those years I don't miss at all. Like those years were depressing. Those years were fucking miserable. And you saw me during those specific years briefly, so you can definitely testify.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. Listen, it's tough times, and you know, the way life is constructed of ups and downs. Sometimes the higher the ups, the lower the downs, and vice versa. But yeah, listen, it's nice that you can have a couple of days where you can put your problems away and kind of like everyone can come together can create something nice, but it doesn't always play out that way. You know what I mean? If, for me personally, like I said, in recent years, there was no festivities or a big family, strong, healthy family dynamic that was like that made the holidays anything special. It just really became just a fucking day. So you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not like a hater or anything like that. Like, it's just in my life that there's no relevance. Maybe down the road, if there's a strong family dynamic in my area or something like that back in my life, and I'm enjoying the holidays, that's cool. But from a religious standpoint, it means nothing to me. And being like mostly single with no kids for like at least a decade, and having like the family kind of split apart in that last decade, it just doesn't really mean shit to me anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
And you know what's funny? You know who the first person was to tell me Christmas was just another day? You know who the first person was to tell me that?
who?
Ron.
My brother?
Yeah, it was the Christmas when I first moved to New York. Yeah, that 2007 Christmas. I went to Ron's house with you after work, and then he's like saying, and I was like, yeah, the first time I ever had to work on Christmas Day. He's like saying, yeah, bro, when you get older, Christmas, it's just another day. It's just another day on the calendar.
Yeah, that sounds like some shit Ron would say. You know what I mean? It
That's
kind
some
of
shit you
is.
would say.
Yeah, well, he's not lying. You know what I mean? Like, it is another day. Well, like some days, like listen, my birthday's coming up. I'm gonna be working, bro. It's just another day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Like I said, like now that I'm older, I get that aspect of it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more for the kids, you know what I mean? And it's not just like I said, if you have the whole family coming together and you have all these kids running around super happy, then that's nice for the adults too. I would imagine. Like if I was in a house with all my siblings and all their kids, and everyone's happy and shit, like that would be nice for me as well. Like I said, it just sometimes as adults, it's more just like the kids are all like about the holiday spirit and their gifts, and you're just thinking like, fuck, I'm behind on my mortgage, like I don't know, you know what I mean, like, or
Yeah, I get
whatever
it.
it
Yeah.
is you're going through, you know what I mean, like sometimes it's just like you said, when you get older, it's just another fucking day, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. And also, one thing that started to turn me off, like kind of about Christmas in certain ways, is like during those years and as the years progressed, was a lot of the commercialism of it. The commercialism to the point where, like, yeah, you're like, putting yourself in debt and putting yourself behind on your bills just to buy a bunch of presents for a lot of people that you don't really see every day, that in some cases you don't even like. And like going to like these different malls and getting into fights with people and having to find parking, and also the Black Friday shit where like people are waiting outside like with like a line like wrapped around the corner to get into Best Buy and get into the mall to get these special deals, get these like special Christmas prices and all this jazz. Like shit like that started to turn me off on like Christmas and the holidays for a while. Yeah, that whole commercialism and like fighting people for gifts and like just stomping over people just to get over on them and all that. Like I don't know if you ever saw the movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That shit describes it perfectly. Like the whole commercialism of it, where people are fighting each other just to get this specific toy, the hottest toy that's out right now that everybody wants. And yeah, people go crazy over that shit. People lose their mind over that shit. And I just see that shit and I just say to myself, like, yo, this defeats the whole purpose of the fucking holiday. The holiday should be fun. That holiday should put you in like a happy mood as much as possible. And like doing this kind of bullshit, that overly commercialism shit with Christmas, that shit, all of it is for the
Is
birds.
for the birds. I've never really experienced that myself. Like, I mean, you've known me for over 2 decades. I'm sure you know that, like, that's not me. You know what I mean? Like, you won't catch me like running to the mall fighting with people over some Black Friday prices or whatever the fuck. Like, I've never really, I've seen it in movies or on like news articles or social media and stuff. I've never like experienced it firsthand. Like to me, that shit's like that shit's real, bro. Like people were like, I don't know,
Bro,
but
I've seen it with my
no,
own eyes, bro. I remember this KB toy store I used to go to at this one mall. And then one year I went to that mall like around Christmas time and I just like went inside there and I was in fucking shock. I was in fucking shock,
Traumatized.
bro.
like
I remember.
like a war movie,
I,
like a war movie where you have this scene where he's like the bomb goes off and their ears are ringing and their vision's blurry and they're like just coming back to consciousness.
I'll say,
You're like, what the fuck?
I'll say this
Yeah, it's
much.
hilarious.
I'll say this much. I remember getting back to Florida after Hurricane Andrew happened in 1992, and like being in shock, seeing what the fuck happened to parts of Florida that I knew so well. And when I walked into that KB toy store that day, the exact same vibe. Bro, they fucking
Damn,
destroyed.
bro.
They fucking destroyed that place. They fucking massacred
Oh
that place.
shit. Damn, bro.
Like,
That's
I
crazy.
couldn't believe it. I didn't see it as it was happening, but like when I walked in there, I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened here? Holy shit,
Yeah, that I can't even relate to that. That would never be me, bro. I'm sorry.
bro.
Like I'd rather pay more money and skip all that commotion and not spend time waiting in lines. Like I'll pay for the premium service. Like, oh, I can come into a nice store with like 4 or 5 people and always have like a fitting room available and have some chick come up to me, like some cute chick, like, hey, you want some water or whatever. Like, yeah, and I'll pay more, like, for a better experience. Like I'm not trying to like wait in line for 2 hours and fight with people and like go through all this commotion and like, yo, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'll come on the day where it's not busy. It's like when you drive, bro. You're gonna specifically go out in rush hour, or you're like, fuck it, let me leave in 2 hours and I'll skip all the traffic. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather come when it's not crazy busy. Just like I'm not gonna be. You won't catch me at the Macy's parade or at the fucking ball drop in Times Square. Like that shit's not for me, bro. You know what I mean?
I get it. Trust me, I get it. Like that shit's not appealing to me either. I work at the mall, and like, yeah, I never even walk inside the mall unless I need to. And especially under those circumstances, that's zero fun, son. Zero fun. And that's one thing I just don't like about the holidays is because with that kind of vibe and that kind of environment, it just brings out the ugly side in people. In some ways, I hate to say it, like you really see the worst in people during this time of the year, and it's very disappointing, especially when it comes out of them because of the whole commercialism thing. And that's one thing about Christmas. Although I get that it's a part of it, it has become more of a turnoff in recent years.
Like for example, if like, let's say, are you familiar with Dumble Donuts in Brooklyn? It's like the vegan donut
Yeah,
spot.
I think I went there once. Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's say if I go on Instagram tomorrow and I see Dumble Donuts put up a post, hey guys, we're giving away free donuts today for the holiday or some shit like that. Bro, I would not drop everything and run to get a free donut. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and I guess a lot of people would just be like, "Oh my god, we have to go there right now. We have to be the first ones there." You know what I mean? Like, and it would be like a shit show. And I'm like, I'll pass all that shit, and I'll pay fucking $5-6 for a donut at some other time. It's more convenient for me to go there without having to rearrange my whole schedule and freaking out and being stressed out that I'm gonna miss it and like trying to fight with people and stay in line. Like all that headache, all that commotion, all that stress, all that time. Like, is that really worth? Like to me. You know, time is money, bro. Like that shit's valuable. Convenience, time, all those things, service, like all that shit is valuable, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to wait in line for an hour and fight with people and you know what I mean and be all stressed out to save 10-20 bucks. Like, fuck that, bro. I'd rather pay 30-40 just to avoid the bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like think of it like a flight. If I'm booking a flight and I got a ticket with like 3 connections or another ticket that's a one-way flight for like $60 less, I mean $60 more or whatever. Like obviously I'm gonna pick the direct flight even if it's a little more expensive. You know, if it's night and day, bro, I'll suffer some shit flight if it's like, half the price or like five, six, seven, $800. If I'm actually saving like serious money, like all right, cool, I'll spend that money when I'm there. Whatever, blah blah blah. I'll have more money for my trip, but it's gonna take a lot more than like a discount to get me to fucking trample people in a department store or camp outside a fucking store for hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you, man. I don't really.
Like I'll still buy the TV I want. I'll just buy it at the regular price when it's fucking normal. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's because of that shit. That's why Amazon is our friend.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Honestly, today, just anything is just like, doo-doo, it comes straight to your door. You know what I mean?
Word. And honestly, I got to the point after a few years where I would just buy people for Christmas gift cards.
Yeah, like pick your own present.
So much easier. Yeah, I put in a good amount of money on it, and they can get whatever they want, whatever they want.
Bro.
And everybody's happy. They don't have to worry about returning anything or any of that jazz. Yeah, everybody's happy. The only time that backfired on me was one year when I bought my cousin, who was my Secret Santa for one year, a gift card for Red Lobster, and she actually asked if she could return it.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, but her fiance at the time called her out for that, saying like, "Yo, that's mad rude."
Oh shit. Honestly, they just did that. I never did Secret Santa before, but they were just doing it at work, at like veganized and shit. And like, the server came up to me with like the little fucking Santa hat and all the names. And I've never done this shit before. She's like, yeah, pick a name. I'm like, all right, cool. I grab it. She's like, don't show it to anyone. Don't let anyone see it. It's a secret. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I put it in my pocket like immediately that no one. I'm like, she's like, oh, it's so. I was like, okay, cool. I asked her a little bit later, like, it's busy, we're working, whatever. I've moved on, and then I remember asking her, I was like, so what happens if, like, let's say I would have picked up my own name? Like, how would you, if it's like a secret and shit, like. She's like, oh no, you have to like immediately check. If you pick your own name, you have to throw it back in the hat. I was like, oh, I was supposed to check like right away. Like I did it in front of you. I didn't check. I just put it in my pocket. I was like, let me see. Like, I'll check now. And I'm like, oh shit, I lost it. Like I couldn't find it. So they had to redo the whole thing
Oh
because I didn't
shit!
know who I had. Oh shit, they had to redo the whole thing. That's funny.
It's a
Do you
fun.
still like? Let's say now that there's the holidays are coming around, are you gonna go at like? Is there people you gotta go buy gifts for and shit?
Mainly my nephew. Mainly my nephew. I'm gonna get something for. I'm gonna take care of him pretty well this year, and
What are you gonna get them?
I'm not sure yet. And I don't think I should repeat it because he might hear this episode before Christmas.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Nah, I'm just talking shit. You can't listen to this shit with the language I use. Nah, you can't listen to this.
Explicit
Nah.
deleted, redacted, censored, top
Yeah, but
secret.
I might get him maybe a basketball jersey and maybe
Oh, cool.
yeah, basketball jersey. I think he wanted this new Xbox controller. Maybe I might get him that too.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I remember. I remember last Christmas he cleaned up nice. The fucking gifts he got last year for Christmas, like 10-year-old Kurt would have been super jealous of this kid,
Uh, that's
bro.
funny.
Like he got hooked the fuck up, son. Hook the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't see myself buying anyone anything. Like now that he did that Secret Santa thing, I guess like I'll have to get something small for this. They said it's like they traditionally do like $20 max value. They don't want it to be too. So whatever, it's bullshit. But yeah, I don't see myself like I haven't bought anyone a Christmas well, not Christmas, but I haven't bought anyone presents for anything like holidays, birthdays, and years, bro. Like what the fuck? I don't buy presents. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it just
if a
doesn't.
friend of mine has a birthday, I'll take him out. I'm like, yo, let's go get dinner, let's get drinks, let's go out, blah blah blah, watch a movie, whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like I'll show them a good time, but I'm not really. I've never really been a big like gift buying person. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like even if I'm with a girl, I'll just take her on a weekend somewhere. Like hey, let's go to London. Let's go to whatever Vegas. I don't know. Like you know what I mean? Like let's go to Greece. Like I don't know. Let's do something. Let's go to a super nice restaurant. Let's get a hotel room in the city. Like I don't know. Like get a massage. You know what I mean? Like have something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really do the gift thing that much anymore either. Like yeah, except for my nephew. And yeah, I don't really expect to get gifts myself these days anymore. Like my mom might give me something here and there, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't really get gifts that much, and it doesn't really bother me. Like it would be cool to get something here and there, but not a big deal to me anymore. I'm
Yeah, like I don't see anyone buy me a present. Like, hey, I got you a present. I'm like, what? You got me a what? It's just like in my mind, like if there's something I want, I just get it for myself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I need this. I want this. I go get it.
exactly.
Like, I don't wait. I don't wait for my birthday or some holiday so I can ask someone. Like, what? That's crazy to
Yeah,
me.
like if I had a girlfriend, yeah, that'd be different. But besides that, yeah, I don't really do the gift thing, like either getting gifts or giving gifts. But
Yeah.
it's funny. I will say this, like now that we're talking about gifts, I remember when I was a kid, the gifts that would just bum me out the most is like when I would get clothes. That shit would be the biggest letdown, the biggest fucking letdown. And my uncle, one of my uncles, he would always get us books. Like instead of getting us toys, he would get us books. Like I remember one year he got me Moby Dick, and then
How old were you?
I was 9. Yeah, that was 95 Christmas. Yeah, I was 9.
Is that book even for 9 year olds, bro? I think that's like a I don't I think that's above a 9 year old. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, looking back at it now, I appreciate it. I see what he was trying to do. I appreciate it a lot more now. And he also bought me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. But I was a lot older when he got me that one though.
But that one you liked.
Yeah, that's a good book. Yeah, like when he got that book for me, I was old enough to appreciate it. But when he got me Moby Dick when I was 9, I'm like, bro, you didn't see my Christmas list? Where did I ask for a book?
No, but even if you get a book for a 9 year old, I don't know if Moby Dick is for 9 year olds. You know what I mean? Like I might be wrong. I had never read that many books. Like maybe it is, but I think
Nah,
that might
trust
be
me, bro, it
for.
was not. Trust me, bro, it was
That's what
not.
I'm
That shit
saying. That's what
threw
I'm
me off
saying.
big.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's like for at least 12, 13, 14, 15. Like, I don't think that's like a book for a 9 year old. You know what I mean?
If he got me a Goosebumps book, it would have been different. But yeah, that one, that's like not some shit I was ready for by any stretch.
But I mean, even the reading level, I think, is maybe a little more advanced. But not only that, like the subject material, I think, is not exactly G rated. You know what I mean?
Put it this way, I didn't get very far with the book.
Obviously.
And it's funny, I did read books a lot around that time because my school ran a promotion that if you like reported that you read 10 books or more, you would get like a pizza party or you get like to go to McDonald's and meet Ronald McDonald and get a Happy Meal. Yeah, so I would do that shit
Meet
every day.
Ronald McDonald.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Ronald McDonald used to come to our school. He used to come to our school and like promote that shit.
You know he's not a real person, right?
But somebody would dress up that. You know what I mean. Somebody
Yeah.
would dress up as
I
him.
know, it's funny though. It's hilarious. You're like, yo, Ronald, sign my chest, sign my fitted cap.
I didn't give a shit
Yeah.
about that. I wanted some McDonald's. I didn't give a fuck about no autographs.
Like, yo, you came without food, bro? Where them burgers at? Let me get some fries, bro.
Take us to the playground because that's what I really liked about McDonald's back then.
Yeah, I think the only thing I ever ate from McDonald's is like
Hash browns.
the hash browns, bro.
As you know, I was a McDonald's fiend when I was younger, but yeah, the thing I liked the most about it, especially when I was a kid, was those playgrounds. Like even if you didn't get to eat, if you got to go play on the playground, it was more than enough.
Another example of like marketing to kids, bro. Toys, playground, blah blah blah. Same as like the holidays, just marketing to the kids, like Santa, Christmas, presents.
Yep, all those damn toys, all those that damn M&M commercial that comes on every year where they're trying to like sneak Santa cookies and then Santa meets the M&Ms and they can't believe they're both real and they both faint. Yeah, they play that commercial every year ever since I think I was 8. Fuck.
God damn, that is a long time.
When my nephew was born, like the closer part of my family, like my brother, my mom, my sister-in-law, we would get together for Christmas for a while. One year specifically, we got together at my sister-in-law's parents' house. It was a nice time. It was the first Christmas for my nephew where you could actually physically open the gifts, so that was cool to be around. But the thing was that ended up being like my last Christmas in Florida because I moved to Vegas actually a few months after that, and it's crazy. I spent in Vegas. I pretty much spent every Christmas being pretty much 6 Christmases by myself. No family, no friends, nobody. That shit was
Yeah,
different. That shit was different.
right. Yeah, no, I feel you.
But the thing was, but with that period when I was like by myself, it did start to make me like kind of miss those kind of Christmases more and like appreciate those Christmases more where I kind of wanted it and was sad that I didn't have it. Where that few year period prior, I didn't give a shit about it. And like, I was kind of like in my negative shit. Like during those years, I wanted to have that kind of Christmas and have those like kind of and have like my loved ones around to celebrate with and all that, but I just couldn't at the time. And that shit kind of sucked. Yeah, it shit did suck.
Yeah, no, that does. It sounds like it sucks. When my niece was born, like when Ben's kid was born in June, like we definitely the family started. Like I remember it was my idea, or like let's every Saturday we'll just have like family day and shit like that. But after like a year or two, that shit started evaporating. You know what I mean? But yeah, lasted for a little bit. It was nice, to have that. Like I guess growing up Jewish, like there's a lot more holidays than just Christmas. Where you guys have like the one big, Christmas and maybe Thanksgiving. For us, there's a lot of holidays, but there's a Shabbat, which is almost like a weekly holiday. It's like every Friday night is like a mini holiday, or every Saturday afternoon. It's like from Jewish holidays, they work like almost like New Year's or Christmas. Like when you have the Eve and the day, so every Friday night is like Shabbat Eve, and then every Saturday until the night is like Shabbat the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
was
like
there for
it's
that
almost
last
like
year. Yeah, I was there for that. That's when
yeah.
that's when like the gyms would close before I could get there, and the laundromats would be
Oh,
closed. Yeah, all that.
you're talking about Yom Kippur. That's when everyone's fasting, when you don't eat
Oh,
and stuff like that. I'm talking about like every week, on a weekly basis, from Friday night till Saturday night. It's considered Shabbat. It's almost like a little mini holiday that Jews celebrate almost on like every week. You know what I mean? Like every Friday night is like a holy day. You know what I mean? It's like different. Like a lot of people like in Israel, like modern Israelis, they're not that religious, but every Friday night, like they want the family to eat together and everyone comes together. And for the most part, nobody works Friday night or Saturday morning unless you work in like the service industry or something like that. But for the most part, it's like almost like a little mini holiday. You know what I mean? Like every week. So that was nice. When my niece was born, we would like every Saturday afternoon, we would all get together at my parents' house with Ben and June. And, that was nice. But yeah, it lasted for a little bit. So yeah, usually when there's like a new kid, and you get that hype again for a little bit. But.
yeah, it sucks when those kind of things evaporate. And yeah, even with my mom's side of even with like my mom and my brother and my nephew and everyone, yeah, kind of like not being able to celebrate with them so long kind of sucked. And then in those years in Vegas, there was like one year when I went with a friend to like her friend's house for Christmas, which was cool. It was nice, but I just didn't really know anyone there. So that kind of part of it wasn't really the same compared to, like being with my family and friends and all that jazz. But since I moved to Atlanta, it's gotten a little bit better. Like since my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephew all moved here, we don't really do much per se, like anything out of the ordinary. But it is nice to have them close by and to get together with them, during this time. So I am grateful that
Yeah,
I
but
have that now.
yeah, you don't have to go big, but as long as you can, not be just home by yourself on that holiday, and just like, you can see your nephew and buy him a present and hang out with your brother and his his wife and your sister in law, and just kind of like have like a family dinner. That's
Yeah,
nice.
it would be just so weird, like in Vegas in those Christmases where I would just get drunk and I would smoke, like just being by myself in my apartment. It's like, yo, this is for like a day like today. Like this shit is not cool.
As Ron would say, Christmas is just another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like for a day like that, it was like so big on like being with your family and being with your loved ones to like just be by yourself on that day doing that. It's kind
But
of
that's
like
the thing that I don't think that there's anything wrong with not having that. Like I think it's nice if you can have that, and it's a blessing and all that, and it could be nice. Sometimes it can be a headache, like we discussed. Not every holiday is all peaches and cream. Sometimes it's a fucking shit show. Sometimes it's lovely. There's both aspects and both sides to it. But I don't feel like anyone should ever feel like they're not as good or not good enough because they're alone on the holiday or something like that. Like, bro, that's life and circumstances. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that anyone should be ashamed of that or whatever. And I feel like I've heard of a lot of people that like maybe they don't have their family around, so they like go and volunteer on the holiday, or the other helping out other people that don't have maybe a place to go or people to take them in or whatever and shit like that. So there's always like kind of like, if you don't want to just be like at home by yourself, you can always do something nice. And if you don't have your family to celebrate with, you can always kind of like maybe like volunteer doing something that you believe in or some shit. I don't know.
yeah, definitely. And one thing I did do during those years, even though I was by myself and it wasn't like, ideal, I still tried to like, make my own fun out of it. Like, with the holiday movies, making like a special dinner, making my special brownies, and yeah, just making the most out of like whatever my situation was. And granted, it wasn't the same, and yeah, it would be better to have people around, but I still did make my own fun out of it to a degree. And that's why, like, now I'm at a point where like, even though I'm older and even though it's not the same anymore, I still like to enjoy Christmas and have fun with it as much as I can, and, like, make the most out of that time of the year because it only comes around once. It's a good vibe. It's a good time. I like the weather change. I like some of the music and all that. So if somebody wants to enjoy that, myself being included, yo, they're not hurting anybody. Just let them. Don't be a fucking party foul.
Says the one and only Curtis Claus.
Here comes Curtis Claus, here comes Curtis Claus, right down Curtis Claus Lane. He's the dopest Christmas character, he'll put all the others to shame. When he comes through, there's no way all of the kids won't get hyped. And there's no room for no bad vibes, cause Curtis Claus comes tonight.
Hey!
Tomorrow, tomorrow's gonna be the anniversary of when I first sang that song on Spark It Up.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, 3 years.
So that's it. It's this weekend, right? Christmas is like this weekend.
Christmas is on Monday. Christmas Eve is Sunday, and
Uh,
then Christmas Day is Monday.
it's not like a weekend thing. It's on a Monday. Is it always on a Monday, or is it always different?
Yeah, wow. From you saying that, yeah, you really did not grow up celebrating Christmas. Fuck me, you really did.
I don't know, bro. I don't give a fuck about that
Okay,
shit. Like,
okay, okay. I'll explain it to you. Christmas is every year on December 25th.
okay, so it's every year it's a different day of the week. Because
Yeah,
sometimes no, because with American holidays, sometimes it's like, oh, it's the first Sunday of this, or it's the last Thursday of this. Like you
I
guys
get
have that
it.
weird shit. Like
Yeah, I get it. I
yeah,
get
with
it. But
Jewish holidays is just random days all the time. It's a date. You know what I mean? With you guys, it's like, oh, Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. Halloween is always on a, Father's Day is always on a Sunday. Like there is no set date. So I'm like, I don't know, bro. What do
yeah,
I know?
yeah, that is true. Like, for instance, Thanksgiving is always the fourth Thursday of November, and Mother's Day is always the second Sunday of May. So yes, Christmas being a different example, Christmas is always December 25th, the same way that Valentine's Day is always February 14th, and obviously Independence Day is 4th of July.
Yeah, with the Jewish holidays, it's always the same date. It's just the same Hebrew date, which doesn't exactly stack up to the regular calendar that we use. I think it's like more of a lunar based calendar. So like modern calendars, the date does shift, but it's always the same Hebrew calendar date. You know what I mean? I think. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, like I said, like, now that I'm older, it is not the same anymore, but there is still a lot of fun to be had with the whole Christmas vibe. And regardless of whether you like the movies, you like the music, you like getting together with your family, or anything else in between, whatever kind of different traditions you may have, there's still fun you can have during the holidays, and there's still magic you can make out of it. Even if you're not into it 100% or into it the same way you were when you were a kid, you don't have to clown on it, you don't have to shit on it, you don't have to ruin it for other people. There's still fun to be had with it even in your older age, and in some ways there's even more fun to be had with it with your older age. You just got to find a way to tap into that, and once you can tap into that, bro, it's a good time. And don't ever turn down a good time that's not harming anybody else. If you can choose between being a Grinch and being a grumpy fuck and being a happy person who's full of life and wants to have a good time, always choose the latter. It will always pay off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That Klaus movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen that, go check that shit out. That movie's fire.
I
Like, it
watched
doesn't
it.
even. No, not you. I'm saying anyone. Like, yo, like in general. Like, yo, that movie's fire. I've seen it like 3 times, bro. Like, it. I don't even need it to be Christmas. Like, it's just a good ass movie, bro. Like, that shit's dope.
Well, there is admittedly one weird thing about me with Christmas movies. I only watch them during Christmas time. Like, for instance, I'll never watch Home Alone or Home Alone 2 in the summertime. Never.
That's so weird. That's funny.
Yeah, that's how I am with certain movies. Like the Rocky movies, I only watch like on American holidays, like 4th of July, Memorial Day.
That's funny, bro. That's weird.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna watch Klaus like sometime this weekend. I'm also gonna watch Christmas Chronicles. Christmas Chronicles is a solid one.
I've never even heard of that.
It's a Netflix movie. It's with Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Obviously, my Home Alones, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, also Best Man Holiday.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Thank you for reminding me that too. Technically, no, because it came out in the summertime, but yes, because it's based around Christmas. And also, you can throw Batman Returns into that category.
It's definitely a Christmas movie.
I haven't actually watched it in years. I think I may even watch it now that you bring that up because it has been a minute.
Well, technically, you brought it up, but
Yeah, and besides, Michelle Pfeiffer's mad sexy in that, but that's another story.
yeah.
Fuck me. But yeah, bro, like I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I'm actually off on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for the first time in 6 years. So I'm gonna make the most out of those 2 days.
Well, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the weekend after a little bit more.
Oh yes, the main events. The main events.
New Year's weekend, bro. Let's go. It's a new year.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be fun, bro. I've only spent one birthday with both of you guys, one New Year's with both of you guys also. So yeah, Christmas is the appetizer, New Year's is the motherfucking main event, main course, and dessert afterwards.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a fun time of the year. Weather's a little brutal in some cases, but besides that, I still enjoy the Christmas holiday season. And I still, in my older age, like to make the most of it. And I encourage all of you out there, even if you are older, even if it's not the same anymore, still try to find the fun in it. Because the younger version of you will thank you for that. I'm telling you, even if you are older, even if things have changed, still try to find the fun of it because trust me, there is still fun and good shit to be found in any situation.
Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, people having fun. It's not the end of the world if you let some fun rub off on you. You know what I mean?
Not at all, bro. And that's the stage in my life I'm in right now where I just want to have a good time, have fun, be as happy as much as I can, and just not be a party foul. Like, there's nothing good about being a party foul, being a hater, being a fucking Grinch, and having a stick up your ass. Yo, that shit is also for the
Yeah,
birds.
bro. I'd definitely rather soak up some happy vibes than some grumpy vibes any day of the week. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those happy vibes, those good vibes are gonna save your life. And longer your life too. Longer your life. There we go.
It's like going to the beach and soaking up the sun and tanning in the beach. Like it's like sunlight. You go to the beach, you get a tan. Like, grumpy ass vibes is more like a rainstorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather soak up the good vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think eventually I'll get married and have a wife, and we'll start our own Christmas traditions and do our own Christmas.
And then I'll come crash your Christmas. I'll come through the chimney like, "What up, bitches?"
Like those videos I just shared with you with the Grinch coming into the crib and like scaring the kids and then taking the
Yeah.
presents. Yo, that shit was mad funny, son. That shit was
Yeah,
mad.
that shit was hilarious. I'll come down the chimney like, "Pop, pop, pop, what's up? Uncle L in this bitch, let's go."
You probably couldn't even fit in it.
Yeah, you probably won't even have a chimney, but that's another story.
That's true. That was another thing when I was a kid. Every time I would go to a house with a chimney, I would always see if like Santa was up there or some shit.
Kurt believes in magic.
When back then I did. I'll never forget like an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air when like Will has to take like this class with a bunch of little kids, and one of the little kids embarrasses him by like answering a question like so easily that he couldn't answer. And then when the kid sits down, Will's like, "Oh yeah, well there's no Santa Claus. What you got to say now?" It's gonna be interesting to see how my nephew cleans up this year with the gifts he gets. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Let's go.
I'm also looking forward to these basketball games, specifically the Lakers and Celtics, and maybe I'll go see Iron Claw on Monday.
Oh shit, that looks good. I'll check that out. Make sure you take a box of tissues.
I will. Yeah, it's gonna be some emotional ass shit if you know about the Von Erich family. Yeah, it's gonna be very sad, but that's another story.
No spoilers.
No spoilers at all. But I will. If I do go, it'll be the first time I've gone to the movies on Christmas Day since 1991.
Oh shit, that is wild.
And the movie I saw that day was Hook.
Oh yo, I saw that. I had that shit on video, bro. That was a classic. I used to watch that shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's a solid movie, and the only time Robin Williams was outperformed by somebody in a movie, that being Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, I used to watch that shit all the time as a kid.
Yeah, I liked it. I always liked Hook. But yeah, for whatever reason, I've never gone to the movies on Christmas since then. I always meant to, but it never panned out.
Well, I guess you got plans for Monday.
Yeah, I'll probably go like earlier in the day.
Well, the restaurant's probably going to be closed for Christmas, so maybe I'll go watch a movie.
Looking forward to it. But guys, enjoy the Christmas holiday, enjoy the weekend, make the most out of it, make your own fun, regardless of what that may be, just as long as you're not hurting anyone else. And I know I'm not a licensed doctor or therapist, but I do like to use this podcast as a platform to help others in going through a lot of the same issues that I did. And if you ever want to listen to any past episodes of the podcast or talk to me or chop it up with me in any way, you can follow me on my various social media pages, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. For Instagram, look up Conscious Kurt. For Facebook and LinkedIn, look up my name, Kurt Cadet. And also, if you want to listen to past episodes of the podcast, including this one, you can find it on Spotify, Spreaker, or YouTube. Subscribe to it, listen to it. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you like about it and don't like about it. But regardless, I will be here for a long time to come on For the Birds, talking about different forms of negative and toxic behavior, the effects it has on us and our mental health, and what we can do to have a better understanding of it and more control over it in order to have a better quality of our lives in the future. So, El, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a great episode. It's been great talking to you for the last hour about the whole holiday spirit, the good, bad, and the ugly. And looking forward to having you back on the show when I come to New Jersey in a few weeks.
All right, bro. See you in 2 weeks. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir. And one more thing I want to say, one thing I want to say before I get out of here, it would be great just for one day if I could like get my family from like Florida back together for Christmas get together, just for like one day. That would be a good look.
Make it happen, bro.
That's about yeah, I can do something about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could.
yeah, you got this.
Or even just my cousins, even just like my cousins and my brother. Like if I could just do that, that would be great.
Make it happen, bro. Make it happen.
Yeah, so for El Rachmani, this is Conscious Kurt for another edition of For the Birds. Take care, God bless, and remember, especially during the holidays, don't be an asshole in real life or social media, because that shit is for the birds. Don't be a Grinch either.